welcome back to my channel. For today's tutorial, I'm going to show you how to make this waffle patterned bikini top. I think this is just so gorgeous, and I've personally never seen a waffle stitch bikini top. I think the detail is just super cute and it's really quick and easy to work up. So I hope you guys enjoy, and let's go ahead and get into the tutorial. For this project, I'm going to be using a weight 4 cotton yarn and a 3.75 millimeter hook. Begin with a slip knot, and then I'm going to chain out a total of 31. So now I have a chain of 31. This is going to fit a pretty true size medium. You can always adjust this to make it smaller or larger. I would just recommend to make sure you keep it an odd number of chains. So now that I have 31, I'm just going to go right back through that very first chain along the row, and I'm going to be placing a single crochet. So I'm going to go ahead and place one single crochet in every chain going back along this row. So now I've made my way back down the chain, placing one single crochet in every chain. I'm just going to chain one and flip over my work. Now I'm going to begin on the waffle stitch pattern. So to start off, I'm just going to be doing double crochets. So this whole pattern is worked in double crochets. So I'm going to wrap the yarn around my hook. For every row, make sure you're going through that very first chain that is connected to your chain one, and place a double crochet through the entire chain. Now again, for the very next chain, I'm going to place one double crochet in the chain after. Now for the third chain in the row, I'm only going to be working in the back chain. Instead of going through the entire chain, which is these 2 strings, you're only going to be working through the back stitch. So I'm going to be placing one double crochet through the back stitch. And then this is the sequence for the entire row. You're going to be doing one double crochet in each of the next 2 chains. So that's 1 and then 2. And then on your third chain, you're going to be placing a double crochet through that back chain only. So make your way to the end of the row, continuing this sequence. So now I've reached the last stitch of the row, which with the sequence pattern we're doing would be a back stitch double crochet. But since it's the last chain of the row, I'm just going to be going through that entire chain. So for the next row, just chain 1, flip over your work. We're going to continue with the waffle pattern. So to begin, always every row, you're just going to be placing one double crochet in that very first chain. So in that very next chain, I'm just going to be placing one regular double crochet. The chain after would be another regular double crochet. And then the next chain is the chain that we did in the back stitch in the previous row. So this is going to be a forward facing chain. So we're going to want to keep that forward. So I'm going to prepare for a double crochet and then go through the entire back post of the chain. So this is going to keep the chain forward and create that waffle stitch. So then just continuing the pattern, you're going to have 2 regular double crochets and then 1 back post double crochet. So now that third is going to be the back post. So you're just going to continue this for the remainder of the row. So now That's my baby, I'm sorry. So now I've made my way to the end of the row. I'm just going to chain 1 to bring up the work, flip it over, and we're going to continue with the waffle stitch. So in that very first chain, place 1 double crochet. And now this row is going to work a little bit different than the previous row. So now that we are on the wrong side of the work, the chains that fall backwards on the previous row are now going to be facing forward. So we're going to keep these chains forward. So I'm going to be going along the back post of that second chain in the row. And then the next chain is facing backwards, so I'm going to do just a regular double crochet. Now the next 2 chains are facing forward, so I'm going to be doing back posts along the next 2 chains. Now the next chain is facing backwards, so 1 regular. So now you are going to be doing 2 back post double crochets and 1 regular double crochet for this sequence. So now I've made it to the end of the row. I'm just going to chain 1, flip over my work, and then now we are back to not the previous row but the row before's pattern. So place 1 double crochet in that very first chain to start off the row, and then now the next 2 double crochets beneath are facing backwards, so they just get regular double crochets in the top. And then that third, and then that third chain, oh my gosh. And then that third chain is facing forward, so that gets a back post double crochet, and that is the pattern for this row. And I'm just gonna go ahead and quickly finish. So now I finished with that row, and as you can see, the waffle pattern is starting to show up really nicely. Now I'm gonna want this to begin to triangle off for the swimsuit, so I'm gonna begin decreasing on every single row at the beginning and the end. So to get started on that, I'm just going to chain 1, flip over the work. Always in the beginning of every row, you're going to still chain 1, or I'm sorry, you're still going to place 1 double crochet at that very first chain so that your sides aren't all wonky when you are decreasing. So now to decrease, I'm going to work the pattern into the decrease. So now that very first chain, or that second chain of the row, is facing towards me, so that is going to be a back post, but I'm going to decrease in this. So I'm still going to prepare for a double crochet, go through the back post, yarn over, pull through 2. Do not complete the double crochet yet. You're going to yarn over again, go through that next chain. The next chain is a regular backwards facing chain, so I'm going to work the pattern into the decrease. So I'm just going to go through the top of that, yarn over, pull through 2, and then pull through 3. So that will effectively decrease those 2 chains into 1 chain while working the pattern into the decrease. So I'm just going to continue along the remainder of this row, continuing the pattern, and I will come back once I've reached the third to the last chain, which we will be placing 1 more decrease. So now I have 3 chains left in the row. I'm going to be decreasing in the end of the row as well. So again, working the pattern into the decrease, I'm going to prepare for a double crochet. These 2 chains are forward facing, so they will be back post double crochets. So I'm going to pull through, complete half of the double crochet, yarn over, go through that very next chain, which is also a back post double crochet, pull through 2, and then pull through 3 to complete the decrease. And then the very last chain in the row also just gets 1 regular double crochet. So now to begin on the next row, chain 1, flip over your work, and basically for the remainder of this pattern, we're going to be decreasing at the beginning and the end of every single row. So again, just in that very first chain, and in all first chains of every row, place 1 double crochet in that very first chain. And then working the pattern into the decrease. Beneath, we have a backwards facing chain. This is the decrease from the row below, so it is kind of technically 2 chains in one. So I am just going to go through the top of the chain, completing half of the double crochet, yarn over, go through the next chain, working into the pattern, yarn over, pull through 3. So that is the decrease for the beginning. I'm just going to continue working the row as regular, and then I'm going to decrease in the end of the row as well. So now I've reached the end of the row. I have 3 chains left. So again, working the pattern into the decrease, I'm going to, and the third from the last chain, begin the decrease. And then this second to last chain is forward facing, but it is the decrease from the row below. So it is kind of 2 chains in one if you stretch it out. But I'm just going to continue with the pattern so that it continues into the decreases. So I am just going to do a back post through that entire, technically a double chain because it's the decrease, but that's okay. So I'm working the decrease into that chain as well, and then just placing 1 double crochet in that very last chain. So just go ahead and continue working your way up to create a triangle formation, placing a decrease in the beginning and the ends of every row. Just to quickly go over, I have already flipped over to begin on the next row, chained 1, put a double crochet in that very first chain, and now I'm doing my decrease in the beginning. So just to quickly go over, these 2 chains in the beginning are facing towards me, so they are going to be back post chains. And it is the decrease from the bottom. So if you pull it apart, it is 2 chains that lead to 1 chain. So for the decrease, I'm still just going to back post behind that entire block of chain just to keep the pattern consistent towards the ends. So please don't get confused if you are working up the pattern and then you run into these kind of like bulkier chains that you need to back post behind. It's totally fine. So I'm just going to continue the pattern into that decrease. So I just wanted to quickly go over that, but I'm just going to continue this pattern and work my way up, and I'm going to come back once I've reached the top of the triangle. So now I have made my way almost to the top of the square. I'm just going to be chaining 1, flipping over the work, and then for this last tiny bit, I'm just going to be doing single crochet. So I'm going to do 1 single crochet in that very first chain, and then I'm going to single crochet decrease in those first 2 rows, and then single crochet decrease in the next 2, sorry I said rows, but I mean chains. And then just 1 regular single crochet in that last chain. Chain 1, flip over the work. Then I'm going to place 1 single crochet in that very first chain. And then single crochet decrease. And then 1 single crochet in the last chain of this row. Chain 1, flip over the work, and then put the hook through that very last chain. Single crochet, and then now I am just going to, sorry, I am in the baby room. So now I am just going to chain off of the top, and I'm just going to do 1 really long chain. This is going to be the, oh my gosh. So I'm just going to do 1 really long chain. This is going to be the chain that ties around your neck. So just go ahead and make it as long as you would like. So now I have finished with the first side of the bikini top. It has just such a beautiful waffle pattern to it. I really have never seen a bikini top with this pattern. I just think it's gorgeous. So I'm not putting an edging along the side. You totally can if you want to, but that's just my preference. So after you're finished with this, you are going to want to make just an exact identical one. And now I'm going to attach them together along the bottom. So I made a slip knot and I'm going to begin chaining. So this chain is going to be the first half of the side of the bikini. So you can make this as long as you want it to be. It could be anywhere from 60 to 120 chains. However long you want your strap to be that ties around your back. I finished my really long chain. This is going to be wrapped around the side, so I'm going to grab a corner of one of my bikini. So now I'm going to take the bottom corner of one of the bikini tops along with my chain that I just crocheted, and I'm going to be attaching it to the bottom with a row of single crochet. So I'm just going to go ahead and place my hook through that very corner chain, and then place one single crochet, and then I'm just going to single crochet my way along the bottom, and I'm going to make my way to the other side. So now I've made my way to the end. I am going to take the other cup and I'm going to just attach it the same way. So if you want to put space in between your cups, you can just chain off and then attach. I do not want any space, so I'm just going to go straight in with my hook to that corner chain and place a single crochet. Now I'm just going to go off, continuing placing one single crochet in each chain, and then when I reach the end, I'm going to chain off with the other strap. So once you are finished with this, you are basically done with your bikini top, and it's very quick to work up. I did this probably in like an hour or two. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more free patterns and crochet tutorials, and I will see you all in my next video.